the KKK and the Kartilya ng Katipunan. This one is also an example of a primary source, along with the first one that we already discussed, which is the Antonio Figapeta's first voyage around the world. For this particular document, we are about to discuss the content and contextual analysis of the KKK and Kartilya ng Katipunan by Emilio Jacinto. Also, we are about to provide a deep analysis on a certain topic. The primary purpose of this study is to present the primary source, the information about the author, provide historical context and importance of the Kartilya ng Katipunan. Also, a lesson learned about the content. This study will show the connections between the KKK and the Kartilya ng Katipunan. We have here a flag of the KKK or the kataas-taasan, kagalang-galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan is arguably the most important organization formed in the Philippine history. It is because it was the Katipunan that envisioned a united Filipino nation that would revolt against the Spaniards and also to have a total independence of the country from the Spaniards or Spain. Yes, there are previous armed revolts that already occurred before the foundation of the Katipunan, but none of them envisioned a unified Filipino nation revolting against the colonizers. For example, Diego Silang was known as an Ilocano who took up his arms and led one of the longest running revolts in the country. Silang, however, was mainly concerned about his locality and referred to himself as El Rey de Ilocos or the King of Ilocos. Second example, the propaganda movements led by the Ilustrados like Marcelo H. del Pilar, Graciano Lopez Haina, and Jose Rizal did not envision a total separation of the Philippines, but instead, they only demanded equal rights, representation, and protection of the abuses of the friars. Moving forward, we have here a picture of the Katipunan illustrated by no other than Franz Carlos Botong Francisco. In the conduct of the struggle, Katipunan created a complex and defined value system that would guide the organization as a collective aspiring for a single goal, which is the document of the Kartilya ng Katipunan. Before we proceed in examining the document, let us first check the background of the author, which is Emilio Jacinto. Emilio Jacinto or Emilio Dizon Jacinto was born on December 18, 1865 in Trozo, Tondo, Manila. He was known to be the mind and soul behind the Katipunan. He also known with a revolutionary pen name or pet name Pinkian. His parents are Mariano Jacinto and Josepa Matanza Dizon. He attended San Juan de Letran College when he embarked on his college career, but later on attended University of Santo Tomas to study law. He did not finish college and instead he joined the Katipunan against the Spaniards. Examples of his works are Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, written in 1895, Liwanag sa dilim, written in 1896, and Ala Patria, written on 1897. Also, we could conclude that the Kartilya ng Katipunan is one of the most important Katipunan document. It is originally titled Manga, mga aral ng Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, or the lessons of the organization of the sons of the country. This particular document was written by Emilio Jacinto in the year 1896, as mentioned earlier. And also, Emilio Jacinto was only 18 years old when he joined the revolutionary movement. He was a law student at Universidad de Santo Tomas and became secretary of the organization and took charge of the short-lived printing press of the Katipunan. In addition, on April 15, 1897, Andres Bonifacio appointed Emilio Jacinto as a commander of the Katipunan in the northern Luzon. Jacinto was 22 years old and he died on malaria at the age of 24 in the town of Magdalena, Laguna. So that's the background of the author. And now let us move forward with the analysis of the Kartilya. The Kartilya ng Katipunan can be treated as the Katipunan Code of Conduct. It contains 14 rules that instruct the way Katipuneros should behave and which specific values should he uphold. Also, Kartilya is a code of conduct that contains laws and principles of Katipunan, also known as the kataas-taasan, kagalang-galangang, katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. And it also served as the guide for the members. This copy of the Kartilya ng Katipunan is from the Book of Revolts of the Masses by Teodoro Agoncillo and later on translated by the Komisyon ng Wikang Pilipino. Generally, the rules stated in the Kartilya can be classified into two. The first group. The first group contains the rules that will make the member an upright individual, and the second group contains the rules that will guide the way he treats his fellow men. Now let us revisit the content of the document or the Kartilya ng Katipunan itself. First rule. Ang kabuhayang hindi ginugugol sa isang malaki at banal na kadakilaan ay kahoy na walang lilim, kundi damong makamandag. Second, ang gawang magaling na nagbubuhat sa pagpipita sa sarili at hindi talagang nasang gumawa ng kagalingan ay hindi kabaitan. Third, ang tunay na kabanalan ay ang pagkakawang gawa at pag-ibig sa kapwa at ang isukat ang bawat kilos, gawa't pangungusap sa talagang kapurian. Fourth, maitim man o maputi ang kulay ng balat, lahat ng tao'y magkakapantay. Mangyayaring ang isa'y higtan sa dunong, sa yaman, sa ganda, ngunit di mahihigtan ang pagkatao. Fifth, ang may mataas na kalooban, inuuna ang puri sa pagpipita sa sarili. Ang may hamak na kalooban, inuuna ang pagpipita sa puri. Inuuna ang pagpipita sa sarili sa puri. Ang taong may hiya, salita'y panunumpa. 7. Huwag mong sayangin ang panahon. Ang yamang nawalay mangyayaring magbalik. Ngunit ang panahong nagdaan na'y hindi na muli pang magdadaan. 8. Ipagtanggol mo ang inaapi. Kabakain ang umaapi. 9. Ang taong matalino'y ang may pag-iingat sa bawat sasabihin. Ang matutong ipaglihim ang dapat ipaglihim. 10. Sa daang matinik ng kabuhayan, lalaki ay siyang patugot ng asawa at mga anak. Kung ang umaakay ay tungo sa sama, ang pagtutunguhan ng inaakay ay sa kasamaan din. 11. Ang babae ay huwag mong tingnang isang bagay na libangan lamang, kundi isang katuwang at karamay sa mga kahirapan nitong buhay. Gamitan mo ng buong pagpipitagan ang kanyang kahinaan at alalahanin ang inang ipinagbuhatan at nagiwi sa iyong kasanggulan. 12. Ang di mo ibig na gawin sa asawa mo, anak at kapatid ay huwag mong gagawin sa asawa, anak at kapatid ng iba. 13. Ang kamahalan ng tao'y sa pagkahari, wala sa tangos ng ilong at puti ng muka, wala sa pagkaparing kahalili ng Diyos, wala sa mataas na kalagayan sa balat ng lupa, wagas at tunay na mahal na tao. Kahit laking gubat at walang nababatid kundi ang sariling wika, yaong may magandang asal, may isang pangungusap, may dangal at puri, yaong di nagpapaapit, di nakikiapi, yaong marunong magdamdam at marunong lumingap sa bayang tinubuan. 14. Paglaganap ng mga aral na ito at maniningning na sumikap ang araw ng mahal na kalayaan dito sa kaabang-abang sangkalupaan at sa bugan ng matamis niyang liwanag ang nagkakaisang nagkakalahatit magkakapatid na ligayang walang katapusan, ang ginugugol na buhay, pagod at mga tiniis na kahirapay labis ng matumbasan. Okay, so those are the content of the Kartilya ng Katipunan, or should we say the rules and regulations that any of the Katipunero or Katipunero members must obey or do. Also, as a primary governing document which determines the rules of conduct in the Katipunan, properly understanding the Kartilya ng Katipunan will thus help in understanding the values, ideas, aspiration, and even the ideology of the organization. Analysis of the Kartilya ng Katipunan. This primary source needs to be analyzed in terms of its content and context. First, as a document written for a fraternity whose main purpose is to overthrow a colonial regime, we can explain the content and provisions of the Kartilya as a reactions or response to a certain value system that they found despicable in the present state of things that they struggled against with. Second, further, one can analyze the values upheld in the document as consistent with burgeoning, rational, and liberal ideas in the 18th and 19th century. In the contemporary eyes, the Katipunan can be criticized because of these provisions. However, one of the one must not forget the context where the organization was born. Kartilya was instructive not just of the Katipunan's conduct toward other people, but also for the members' development as individuals in their own rights. In conclusion, the proper reading of the Cartilla will reveal a more thorough understanding of the Katipunan and its significant role that it played in the revolution and in the upholding of the Philippine history. Again, thank you for listening. This is your instructor.